Right, so who am I here with today?
So my name is Inara. I'm the co-founder and CEO of FemTherapeutics, and we're bringing personalized therapeutics to gynecology.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today. Is this your first HITLAB Summit or have you been to these before?
This is my first HITLAB Summit in person, so super excited to finally put some faces to the names and just get to meet a bunch of founders and investors and industry partners out here.
Yeah, absolutely. So you kind of started talking about it, but what brings you to the HITLAB Summits? What are you looking to get out of them and how do you see them as a tool and beneficial to you and your company?
Yeah, so I've been following HITLAB for a couple years now and was super grateful to have participated in the Women's Health Tech Challenge just a couple months back, albeit virtually, but it was a fantastic opportunity to meet with other founders and some panelists as well. So really just hoping to get to meet those people in person and just get a chance to share a little bit more about what we're building, hear a little bit more about what they're building, and try to see how we can get connected to the New York ecosystem since we're a Canadian-based business.
Yeah, absolutely. So why don't we talk about FemTherapeutics a little bit and what your mission is and what message you want to get out there?
Sure, yeah. I mean, in a nutshell, we're bringing the Invisalign model to gynecology. So we measure patients' vaginal canals, take those measurements to design a vaginal canal in simulation, and then fit a prosthetic that is suited to their anatomy and 3D print that with biocompatible silicone. And these prosthetics can be used for a wide range of indications, starting with pelvic floor disorders as our first demographic market. It's a pretty big opportunity with 1 in 3 women experiencing urinary incontinence or prolapse symptoms at some stage in their life.
Yeah.
Followed by preterm labor for women that have cervical insufficiencies, custom dilators and stents for women that are undergoing post-cancer therapy and need to maintain the integral structure of their vaginal canal. And so on. So we really envision building a whole category of prosthetics in gynecology for the first time ever.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I love your mission of kind of bringing personalized healthcare, which is growing in popularity and importance.
Absolutely.
So I was wondering if you have a perspective on how that's unique to women's healthcare as well, and how you think personalizing products such as yours is going to, improve women's healthcare in general.
Of course. So the concept of prosthetics to fit to treat prolapse and incontinence symptoms has been around for decades. These devices are called pessaries, and they are one of the oldest medical devices dating back to the Egyptians. The only thing I would say that has changed is that they've gone from being actual pomegranates to devices that are now made out of silicone.
Right.
But they still have a 50% failure rate within the first year of use. Patients will undergo a fitting for these pessaries, and 30% of the time they will actually fail a pessary fitting. Let's say the 50% that do end up using these devices, they end up also experiencing 60% of the time complications like bleeding, lacerations, open sores. I mean, imagine wearing high heels for the rest of your life and that being the only option you have. That's literally
Nightmare.
what these feel like.
Absolutely.
So the potential to bring personalized devices in this space is so huge because every patient has different genetics, different general health experiences, pregnancy experiences. Their anatomy is different. They all have different lifestyle choices as well that they're looking to make. And so bringing that opportunity to have these devices personalized for these patients is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It makes some really great points. So I understand that you're invited to be a guest speaker here. I know you're on a couple panels. You're participating in the Women's Health Tech Hour, which is great. What kind of things are you planning on talking about without spoiling too much? And what do you want the audience to take away?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the main takeaway that I'm hoping to leave is that while there is a lot of innovation that's being put out there in women's health, I think femtech as a category is still in its infancy, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Specifically around bridging that data gap that exists right now and the way research is pursued for men's health conditions versus women's health conditions. So I will say my main takeaway is really, invest in women's health companies, invest in women's health research, and really look at it from a point of how can we collect data to further spur more research and development in this space and leave room for others to also come into this space. As I mentioned, a lot of work needs to be done.
Yeah. Absolutely. So kind of going off of that, what do you think is next for you and FemTherapeutics? I mean, I know that's a pretty broad question. I'm sure you get it all the time, but kind of tangible next steps in order to get your product out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So We just raised our seed round and are hoping to pursue clinical trials this year with targeted market approvals scheduled for late next year in Canada and the US. And so we have a few partnered hospitals in mind in the US, and we're really excited to finally get these devices in a couple patients to see how we can improve their lives.
That's amazing. Inara, thank you so much for talking to me about FemTherapeutics and for answering all my questions.
Thank you so much
It was
for
amazing.
having me.
Yeah, absolutely. It was so great meeting you.